Dear student, welcome in first class of post-harvest management of horticultural crops. This course is related to post-harvest handling and processing of horticultural produce, which we all are aware that these are highly perishable or perishable in nature. The course code is HORT 509, and we will discuss that what different components you are going to study in this course. The basic objective of having this course in MSc program is to provide understanding about principle and practices related to post harvest handling of horticultural crops. After completion of this course, you will be able to understand the maturity stages of horticultural crops. You will be able to be aware about the physiology of fruit and vegetable ripening, or the chemical or biochemical changes that occurs during the storage of the horticultural produce. You will be able to understand the packaging techniques and storage techniques which are commonly used in the current scenario. You will be able to understand the value added products which are being prepared from different fruits and vegetables, and you will be able to analyze the chemicals property of the fruits and vegetable crops which are stored and their shelf life. In first experiment, you will be able to aware about the analysis of maturity index, maturity stages of important horticultural crops. The maturity stage for horticultural crops are generally categorized in two different way. One is from the biochemical changes that is occurring inside the fruits, that is physiological maturity, while the other consumer side, which is called as horticultural maturity. Some reference have been mentioned also in this slide so that you will be able to understand the actual concept. We will discuss one by one this experiment in the coming classes. So physiological maturity, as we all are aware that it is the physiological state of fruit which is going to decide what is the maturity stage, at which stage it should be harvested. Like for climateric fruits, we all are aware that it can be ripened even after harvesting, so it can be harvested at maturity stage. But for non-climateric fruits, it will be better if we are harvesting at the stage when ethylene production starts inside the fruit. So this different maturity index we will study in the first experiment of this course. In the next experiment, we will be aware about the packaging and storage of important horticultural commodities. And during this experiment, we will discuss about the pre-cooling practices. We will discuss about the important materials which are used for the packaging of horticultural produce. We will discuss about the storage techniques which are being used for storing the horticultural commodities. In the next experiment, we will discuss about the physiological loss in weight of fruits and vegetables. What physiological loss is actually? It is the total loss in weight that occurs during the storage of the fruits or vegetables. You might have seen the vegetable or fruit vendors or sellers that they are regularly spreading the moisture over the fruits and vegetables that they are selling. So why they spread this moisture? Because it is totally dependent on this PLW concept. Actually, there is a significant loss of water during the storage or during even the marketing at the shop also. because we know that these fruits and vegetables are perishable in nature. So this moisture loss has to be maintained, and how it is going to be maintained? By spreading the moisture, by spreading the water by the sailors, so that the fruits and vegetables will remain turgid, and their cells will remain turgid, and the weight will not be lost. Because this ultimately the seller will be the sufferer if there is a physical, if there is a loss in weight. So here we will discuss about the what are the various causes, and we will discuss about what are the various factors with either pre-harvest, harvest or post-harvest factors which are going to determine this quality loss in fruits and vegetables. In next experiment we are going to discuss about the estimation of transpiration, respiration rate and ethylene release. Dear students, these three factors are closely related to physiological loss in weight, what we have discussed in the previous point. That it is due to transpiration through which the fruits or vegetable or horticulture produce is able to lose maximum moisture. But this can be managed if we are going to increase humidity around the fruits or vegetables, right? So but respiration loss that occurs, this respiration loss is totally utilization of water molecule during the breakdown of the high complex or disaccharide or trisaccharides, which are going to hydrolyze, and they are going to give the hexose sugars or pentose sugars. So during this respiratory loss, there is a significant loss in weight as well. And the third factor is ethylene release. Once ethylene is going to release, there is a proper breakdown of the middle lamella and the other other factors which are responsible to give firmness to the fruit. So these all three factors are significantly responsible for the physiological loss in weight. And in this practical you are going to study about the estimation technique for these three factors. And here on this basis we can classify also these vegetables and fruits in the extremely high categories, means where the respiration rate is very high, and obviously it is the highly perishable fruit products, either leafy vegetables or some green vegetables like peas, and some high water containing vegetables like sweet corn, broccoli and asparagus. And similarly very low also, that where the moisture percent is nearly 10 or less than 10%. So there is a very less respiratory loss, and therefore they are categorized under the very low respiration rate categories. So it can be categorized in very low, low, moderate, high and extremely high. The other experiment that we are going to discuss is TSS and acidity content. TSS, we know that is being estimated by using hand refractometer or digital refractometer, where the reading is being reported in degree Brix and can be converted into percentage by using temperature factor as well. So that we will discuss how it is going to be converted. Again, titratable acidity is going to be estimated by titration of juice extracted from the fruits or vegetables against the n by 10 NOH, where n indicates the normality of NOH, which is here 1 by 10, 0.1, that is. So that we will discuss about what normality is, and how this is going to give the estimation of acidity in the fruits. So basically it is citric acid which we estimate, but by using different multiplying factor we can estimate the different acids also. Then we are going to discuss about ascorbic acid. You are going to estimate the ascorbic acid. The particularly biologically active form of ascorbic acid present in the living system is levorotatory, that is L-ascorbic acid, and it is going to be oxidized in L-dehydroascorbic acid, and both are equally biologically active component. And vitamin C or ascorbic acid content is determined by using 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazine di as a reaction factor, and followed by spectrophotometer determination. So that we will discuss. In sugar can be determined by tritymetric method or colorimetric method. Trigonometric method is common for the quantitative estimation, but other methods can also be utilized. And here we are going to determine the reducing, non-reducing, and total sugar. Reducing sugar are what? I think you all are aware about the aldehyde and ketonic group of as a functional group of organic compounds. So those molecules, biomolecules, which are having aldehydic or ketonic group as a free form and having some specific formulation are considered as the reducing sugar, because they are having this aldehydic and ketonic group freely available, and these free available functional group are able to react with the failing reagent. While the example of that is glucose, which is having free aldehydic group, and fructose, which is having free ketonic group. But the combination of this glucose and fructose is sucrose. So sucrose, which on hydrolysis give glucose and fructose, is having both ketonic and aldehydic group, but are not in free form, they are in bound form, so they are non-reducing sugar. They do not give a result with the failing solution. So it is the failing solution and other reagent like Benedict reagent are which are used to test whether the sugar available is reducing or not. Here we are not going to do qualitative, but we are going to do quantitative test for the sugar, that is reducing and not reducing sugar. Then in next experiment we will discuss about vast life extension in cut flour using chemicals. So we can use chemical as 8-HQS, one of the very famous chemical for enhancing vast life of the cut flours, 8-hydroquinoline sulfate, and other can be used as a malic acid, salicylic acid, or sucrose treatment can be. We can identify the vast life of the flours in terms of total chlorophyll content, in terms of acid oxidase activity, or in terms of anthocyanin leakage. So many parameters that can be used to estimate the vast life. In next experiment we are going to discuss about a study on cold chain management through visit to cold storage or CS storage units. So here we are going to discuss about the cold storage atmosphere or modified atmosphere storage. So in controlled atmosphere storage, so here modified atmospheric storage, controlled atmospheric storage, cold storage. So cold storage is basically based on the lowering of temperature and certain amount of relative humidity is maintained. In controlled atmosphere storage, it is a complete control of all factors which are responsible for enhancing the shelf life, particularly the temperature, relative humidity, and carbon dioxide oxygen ratio, these all things. In modified atmospheric storage, it is a little bit same like that of controlled atmosphere, but here there is a possibility of fluctuation of these factors, either temperature or relative humidity or anything else. So in the next experiment we will discuss about the fruits vegetable processing unit, where different instrumentation, different institutions and industries related to fruit and vegetable processing, we will discuss about that. And in the last experiment we are going to prepare the project related to the processed horticultural products preparation, and the model report on fruits vegetable processing unit has been given in this link, through which you can go through, and we will discuss this in detail in the coming practicals. And there are many suggested readings, either you can take the Dr. K.L. Chadda or Dr. O.P. Parikh book, where advances is having very good content, or you can take the S.K. Mitra book. These are some important listed books which you can use it for study purpose. So thank you for this class, and prepare well. That we will meet in next class. Thanks.